Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Aryanam, Namo Jam, Namo Raya Sarvasamaya Sapanchanam Kara Sarva Papanasam Manglancha Sarvasinkramahanglam Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityandayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksam Seva Omkaraya Namo 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 Samay Saraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhava Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandhanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chakshuramitam Yena Tasmi Shri Guruve Namo Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavanta Varto Omkaranath Jinano Jayavanta Varto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayavanta Varto Ne Tirthachara Jagama Jayavanta Varto Namo E Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundana Dhani Divano Jina Kunda Dhani Aho te Gukanano, Aho te Bhagavati Matano, Dhruva Achalane, Anupamagati Pamela Sarve Siddhane, Vandi Kaho Sutta Kevalikati, Asamanta Bhrata Are, Moe Kasudha Sada Arupi Gnana Darsana Khare, Kayanyate Maru Jari, Paramanu Matra Nathiyare. Om Namah Siddhavya, Om Namah Siddhavya, Om Namah Siddhavya. Okay, so here we are. From last time we started from Pradeshatva Gun. So we'll just quickly go through whatever we just did in a Pradeshatva Gun so far. Okay, where are we? I think we were here somewhere. Okay. So, what is Pradesattva Gun? Pradesattva Gun means it's one second. Okay. Pradesattva Gun. We'll just sing this a couple of stanzas and then keep going. Pradesattva Guna ki शक्ति से आकार द्रव्य धरा करे निज क्षेत्र में व्यापक रहे आकार भी पलटा करे आकार है सबसे अलग होली न अपने ज्ञान में जानो इन्हें सामान्य गुण रखो सदा श्रद्धा में. So what it says over here that there are every substances of the universe, they have the shape of their own. And so what does the shape of the soul has? Soul has innumerable space points making its total shape. The matter, in the matter, if it is an atom only, that has a one space point, but when it becomes aggregate molecule like skandha, then there are countable space points as well as innumerable or infinite space points, depending on how big the skandha is. For example, the karma particle consists of infinite small atoms, the atoms of the matter. So, and again, the karma particle we are not able to see with our own eyes. Only Kevali Bhagwan can see those things. See, when we talk about four anuyogs, Dravyanu Karnanuyog, Charananuyog, Pratmanuyog. So, Pratmanuyog, Charananuyog, and Dravyanuyog, all three are called kind of gross subjects, in the sense there is no fineness, there is no shukshmata. Shukshmata comes only in Karnanuyog. And one particle of karma, Nanavan karma, Dasavan karma, Moni, whatever karma particle, if you take one particle alone of karma, it is consist of infinite atoms. And that is so microscopic that nobody can see except Kevali Bhagwan can witness that. So if you can imagine that karma particle having infinite atoms that cannot be seen, then think about atom alone, which is a one space point, naturally it won't be seen by anybody and it will be perceived by in the knowledge of Kevali Bhagwan. So that's for the matter. Medium of motion has innumerable space point, asankhya pradesi medium of motion, dharmastika, because the whole cosmic space, Lokakash, has innumerable space points, and medium of motion shape is it's a medium of motion is one unit, and its shape is it extends all the way to the whole Lokakash. And so as Lokakash has a innumerable space point, so is medium of motion having the innumerable space point. Medium of rest, exact same as medium of motion, has an innumerable space point because it is a shape of the universe. The space is having infinite space point. Why? Because if we take the space complete, Lokakash, Alokakash complete, means transcosmic space and cosmic space both, then it becomes infinite space point. Why? Because a space alone is a huge, big, huge thing. And Lokakash is a very small, minute thing sitting in the center type of thing. And so, Alokakash is a huge thing, and you are not able to see you are not able, there are lots of infinite space points are there in a space. Time element, the Nishchay time, the absolute time is called Kalanu, and that Kalanu is a shape of a one space point, so it is having the shape of that one Pradesh. So that's what it is. In liberated, now, does the shape of a substance remain same or does it change? Well, what we know is that Dharmastika doesn't change, or Dharmastika doesn't change, Kal doesn't change, space means Akash doesn't change. Then what does it change? The transmigratory soul changes the shape. Why? If I die from now and I go to elephant, that my space point will be elephant shape, and if I'm in ant, then my space point will be just like an ant. So because there is a contraction expansion capacity in this space points of the soul, and that's why the soul extends as much as it wants to, or it can contract as little as it wants to. For example, if it is Nigod Jeev is a very, very fine microscopic Jeev. That soul also has an innumerable space point. And Kevali Bhagwan, on the last part of his existence with the body, when Kevali Samudgat, means they extend into their space point, the whole universe. So the soul, the transmigratory soul, can have the space point as big as the whole cosmic universe, or it could be microscopic as a Nigod Jeev, because of the contraction expansion characteristics of these space points. All right, so now this is a kind of revision of the same thing that what we talked. Okay, so now with shape, that means it's called Sakar, and one without shape is called Nirakar. What is Sakar and Nirakar? Means with the shape and without shape. What is the difference? With Pradeshatva activity, Pradeshatva Gun, one has a shape of its own. Because I am the soul, I have Pradeshatva Gun, I have extended into space attribute, that's why I have a shape of my own. I look like a human right now, tomorrow I look like an animal, after tomorrow I may look like an angel, thereafter I may look anything, whatever. Now, so because of the extension of space characteristics, I have the space of my own, a shape of my own. On the other side, what is a Nirakar means what? What is shapeless means? Shapelessness means what? Formlessness means what? Soul is formless. Soul has no form of its own. The matter has a form. Matter has a form, but soul has no form. In this regard, soul is known to have no shape. On one side, I'm the soul, but I'm the transmigratory soul, and that's why I have the shape of my soul as my own body. But when I take soul alone, free soul, the soul which has been totally liberated from the karmic matter, that soul has no form of any kind, and it's a free form. And so it is called no shape, or it's called nirakar. Now, on the other side, this side, left side, soul is shape, soul shape is an embodiment of knowledge. Now, when we just said, over here, they said that a transmigratory soul has a shape of its own, but at the same time, soul, which is a liberated soul, free soul, has an embodiment of knowledge, means it's a Gnanmay, means Gnan means knowledge is the body for the soul, and that's why soul can also be told that it is Sakar, because it is consists of infinite amount of attributes within, including the knowledge attribute. And that's why soul can also be told as a Sakar. But on this other side, when we come over here, formless nature of the soul can be perceived through senses. In this regard, it has no form. Soul cannot be perceived through the senses. With 5 senses that I have it, and mind, I'm not able to perceive the soul, and because I cannot perceive the soul with the senses, and that's why it is called not to have any form. So these are the way, I think, when we look at the literature, when we read the scripture, different places, different different kind of things are taken into account, and it may say soul is Sakar, or soul is Nirakar, soul has a shape, or soul has no shape, depending on what the author wants to convey the matter. So we should be aware of those kind of things. Now, what is the Pradesh-sattva gun attribute? Now, when we talk about modes, there are 2 types of mode described, Vyanjan Paryay and Artha Paryay. Remember, all the attributes of a substance, they keep on modifying, because we just show it in that substancehood attribute. In the Dravyatva gun, we already saw that every soul will keep on modifying. Okay? Now, every soul will keep on modifying. Every attribute will keep on modifying all the time. Out of all the attributes modifying, the extension into the space attribute means Pradesh-sattva gun. The mode of the Pradesh-sattva gun is called Vyanjan Paryay. Okay, it's a shape modification. It is a shape modification of a substance. Remaining all the infinite attributes of the substance, Jnana, Darshan, Charitra, Astitva, Vastutva, Prameyatva, and all kind of that attribute that we know about it, that when they have their mode, it is called attributive mode, or it is called Artha Paryay. So, Vyanjan Paryay means at mode of the Pradesh-sattva gun. Artha Paryay means mode of all the attributes of a substance minus the Pradesh-sattva gun. Right? Is it clear so far? Vyanjan Paryay, Artha Paryay. That is the one we should be aware of, that part. Now, substance with pure modification of action to space attribute. Medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time elements, they have they are the substances that they have pure modification of extension into space attribute. Means Pradesh-sattva gun, when is the pure modes are there? Which substances have Pradesh-sattva guns modes to be pure? And that is medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. Because they are pure to start with, there is no impurity at all. So every attributes are pure, and so every attributes have a pure mode, and so is an extension into space attribute also has a pure mode. Okay, so there is no beginning and no end. Anadi Anand. See this paryay, the paryay of Pradesh-sattva gun in medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, they are pure from ever, from beginningless time to Anantkal. So that's a pure forever. Now, soul substance after 14 spiritual stage development means in this liberated state, means when it's in a Siddha Dasa, what happens? There is a pure mode of the extension into space attribute. Soul, which has become a Siddha Bhagwan right now, it has a pure mode of Pradesh-sattva gun. So what happens time-wise here? There's a beginning of this pure mode, but it remains forever pure. So it's called Sadi Anant. Sadi Anant means beginning, but no end. Sadi means Sa Adi, means with beginning. Anant means forever. So this mode in the Siddha Bhagwan, the extension into space attributes mode, Pradesh-sattva guns paryay, it starts as a pure, remains forever in the Siddha Bhagwan. Now, atomic matter particle means there is a matter which is non-living. The smallest part of the matter is called atom, and this atom has a capacity to join with the next atom and third and fourth, and it can become a skand, means it's become a globe of a huge collection of atomic matters. So in those atomic matter particle, what happens? As long as atomic particle is free of its own, then its Pradesh-sattva gun has a pure attribute, a pure mode. The atomic matter particle, when it's one smallest atom particle, which is pure, that means when it's pure, all its attributes are pure, including Pradesh-sattva gun pure. That means it is a pure mode. When? Only when it's an atomic particle. Now this atomic particle get together with the other atoms and it becomes skand. It becomes an aggregate of molecules. Aggregate of molecules is called impure matter. Means impure matter, then extension into space attribute has also impure mode. Now, when that atom particle gets separated from that aggregate of molecules, when it's a separate, pure, one unit alone, then it will have a pure mode of the extension into space. So now what happens in atomic particle? There is a beginning, but there is also end. Means it's called Sadi Sant. Sadi means Sa Adi, means there is a beginning of purity. Sant means Sa Ant, means there is also end of the purity. So it's called Sadi Sant, you know. So these are the play of words that also again we'll see Anadi Anand, Sadi Anand, Sadi Sant, Sadi Anand. These kind of things will come in the literature, in the scripture, that we should be aware of those words. Remember, in Apurva also it says, Sadi Ananta Ananta Samadhi Sukhma. Sadi Anant. Sadi means Sa Adi. when the soul becomes liberated Siddha soul, when it becomes liberated Siddha soul, then Sadi means Sa Adi means beginning. Sadi Anant. Anant means forever. So those are the play of words that we have to be aware of it, you know. Benefit of knowing X. What benefit will I get it out of it? If one takes a dependency on this own, one takes dependency of his own shape, then there is beginning of the spirituality which ultimately ends up in nirvana. Remember, I am taking dependency on my own attributes, including my shape attribute, and this shape attribute is within my pure nature of the soul. So when I'm looking at my pure nature of the soul, which includes all these attributes in indivisible form, then I will have Dravya Drashti. And when it's a Dravya Drashti, means my faith is to the eternal pure nature of the soul. And if that is the case, then my resultant mode will be pure, which is called Samyak Darshan. And increasing that purity, ultimately I can go to Nirvana. Now, if one takes dependency of someone or someone else's shape, then through four realms of existence, he ends up to the lowest form of life called Nigodh. See, this is very important point we have to understand over here. There are 2 points came. Either I can go to Nirvana or I can go to Nigodh. There is nothing in between practically. How? You know, that reminds me, when I was in Mangalatan, and when there is first time there was Pratishtha, I think in 2001, I think, and Pawan Bhai's father was alive, and he was practically stone deaf, so he was not able to hear anything, but he was extremely well read, and if he did not have Samyak Darshan, then he's almost on the verge of getting it. So that person, he's walking into the mandap and everything, and I just say Jai Jindal Panditji, and he says, America, yes, kitni gati? How many gatis are there? So I say, 5. He walks out. He says only 2. That's it. So I said, what is this 2 gati? I mean, I'm being told that, the Narak, Swarg, Tiryanch, and the human, they are 4 gati, and once you pass that one, you can go to the 5th gati of Siddha gati. What is this 2 gatis that he's talking about? What he's talking about is, if I am looking at my pure nature of the soul, if I have a Dravya Drashti right now, if I have a Dravya Drashti, means my faith is to my pure nature of the soul only, then I get engrossed within myself. When I do that, the resultant mode will be purity of mode, which will be Samyak Darshan. Once it is Samyak Darshan, once a person achieves Samyak Darshan, then within 1 life, 3 lives, 5 lives, or maximum 15 human life, he ends up going to moksha. Or if somebody is really going to be delayed, it will not be no more than Ardha Pudgal Paravartan, and that soul will end up going to moksha for sure. One who has Dravya Drashti, number 1, because of Dravya Drashti, he has a purity of modes generating. Because of that thing, now he has reserved his seat at the Siddhisila. Krupaludev says that, make sure you are ready for it. Because if you get Samyak Darshan, you will have to take moksha no matter what. So if you are not interested in taking moksha or anything, forget about Samyak Darshan. If you take Samyak Darshan, if you achieve Samyak Darshan, then ultimately your liberation is fixed. 1, 3, 5, or 15 life, or maximum Ardha Pudgal Paravartan. Now, that really opens up new thing. What is Ardha Pudgal Paravartan? Ardha Pudgal Paravartan means it is extremely long, huge amount of time. When we talk those Panch Paravartan, we'll talk a little bit more in detail, but right now for our practical purpose, it's a huge, you know how much huge time? That there are infinite chaubises are there. Infinite Kal Chakras are included in that one. Now, one Kal Chakra is 10, half Kal Chakra is 10 Kroda Krodi Sagropam. One Kal Chakra complete is 20 Kroda Krodi Sagropam. So when we are talking about huge amount of Kal Chakra, that means it's a huge time, huge amount of time. But, having said that, how long am I existing? I'm existing since time infinite. What does time infinite means? Time infinite means I have passed through infinite amount of Pudgal Paravartans in my existence so far. Infinite Pudgal Paravartan. Now, when we talk that a half Pudgal Paravartan and you will get liberated, that means infinite time I'm running around in this transmigratory life, and now only half Pudgal Paravartan is remaining for me. So considering the infinite amount of Pudgal Paravartans, this half Pudgal Paravartan means practically nothing time. Of course, when we talk half Pudgal Paravartan is a huge amount of time. So on one end, looking from the bottom up, it's a huge amount of time, but when we look from the infinite Pudgal Paravartan, there is minuscule time. So these are the things that ultimately I'll end up with a nirvana. So what happens? Nirvana is a fix once the samyagdashan occurs. Now, on the other side of the coin, second bullet over here, if I keep having my paryay drashti, I keep having my faith in the modal aspect only, then what happens? That means I end up making rag and dvesh. I end up taking inclination of attachment and aversion, and because of inclination of attachment and aversion means rag and dvesh, I keep on acquiring transmigratory life, and I keep on circulating from one gati to second to third to fourth, and keep on circulating in those gatis. Now what happens? Remember, I was as a soul for time infinite, I was put into Nigod. Then at one thing happened in which one human being went to moksha, and with that thing, I was by chance end up coming out of Nigod. So infinite time of Nigod I passed, and then I came out. Now from there, I was in a 1 sense life, and 2 sense, and 3 sense, and 4 sense, and 5 sense, and all kind of things happen. But when I'm in the 1 sense life alone, earth bodies, water bodies, air bodies, fire bodies, plant bodies, and all those things, they are called sthavar bodies, means they are immobilized, means they cannot move with their own wish and will. Second, 2 sense lives, 3 sense lives, 4 sense lives, 5 sense lives, those living beings, their capacity to move by themselves. So now, 2 to 5 sense lives are called thrust jeev, means they have capacity to move with their own will and wish. Remember, I'm in 1 sense life and Nigod life forever. From 1 sense life, when I become a 2 sense life, from 1 sense, when I become 2 sense life, then I'm in this thrust nadi, the thrust gati. Thrust gati means I have capacity to move with my own vision will, and that time is a fixed time of 2000 Sagropam time. 2000 Sagropam time. Huge amount of time, looking from the lower end of the perspective, looking from the infinite perspective, it's a very minuscule time. But again, 2000 Sagropam time, in that 2000 Sagropam time, I get 48 human life. I can get chance for getting 48 times human life. Out of 48 human life, 24 human lives are called aparyapti. Aparyapti means prior to soul getting, acquiring the material particles and everything, and to form the life, it just disappears. So 24 lives are aparyapt life. 24 lives are paryapt. Out of 24 lives, 8 are man, 8 are woman, and 8 are hermaphrodite, Napunsak. So, in my present life, I don't know this is 24th life or not. I am not aware of it. I don't know. But maybe, who knows, that if I do not do right thing, and if I end up going to do all garbage thing by having paryay drashti, by modal vision and everything, and keep on doing rag and dvesh and everything, puny little thing, I get disturbed and everything. These are my rag and dvesh. That means I am acquiring more karma and everything. That means I'll go to lower form of life. Maybe I'll go to the higher form of life as an angel and everything. But once the 2000 Sagar time is up, then I will end up going to Nigod again. And I will remain there for 2.5 Pudgal Paravartan. So, what happened here? In these 2 slides, the take-home message here, that I am human being right now. If I have Dravya Drashti, I can have vision of my eternal pure soul. Then after getting few lives, 1, 3, 5, 15 life or half Pudgal Paravarta, and I'll go to moksha. Or if I'm modal drashti, modal faith, my faith is on modal perspective, then I'll keep on rotating in the transmigratory life. 2000 Sagropam life is over, and I'll go to Nigod. So Nigod is there infinite time, moksha is there infinite time. There's a teeny tiny time in between. That's why that Panditji told me that I have 2 gatis only. Choice is mine. Do you want to go to Nigod ultimately? Do you want to go to moksha ultimately? Trigger is on my hand. I have to pull the trigger. I decide myself. Can you imagine how easy the Acharya Bhagwan has made the things for us? Only 2 gatis. Forget about Dev Gati and Narak Gati and everything. We don't want to worry about those things because they're transitory in nature. Only two gatis are there that are. I have a phone call from India. For 1 second. Hello? Hello? Maybe I'm in the lecture. I'll give you a call in half an hour, okay? On the same number, okay? Bye. Sorry. So this is the thing that, how the benefit of knowing actions in space, either I can go to Nirvana or I can go to Nigod. There are only 2 choices for me here. So what more benefits are getting? Every substance has a shape of its own. Yes, we know that. Smaller or bigger shape should not be the reason for happiness or unhappiness. That's what is important. I'm a big guy or I'm a small guy. Who cares about it? I don't have to worry about it. One substance cannot become the other because every substance has its own area, time, and attitudes. Means, what they say over here is a Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. Dravya means substance. Kshetra means space points. Kal means time. And Bhav means my total attributes. So, myself, is myself only. I cannot be somebody else. That's all it says. Free soul as well as transmigratory souls, they all have shape or shapelessness, whatever way you want to talk about it, it can be there. I'm human being. This is the same thing that we have. This is a self-explanatory slide. So we'll go to the next one. This is a very, very important last common attribute we are going to talk about. Eternal persistence, permanence means aguru lagutva. Aguru lagutva means one substance does not merge with the other. One attribute does not merge with the other. Attributes of a substance cannot scatter away. Means I'm full of infinite attributes within me. My attributes, they don't scatter away and disappear from me. They are tied up with me, with my substance forever. Aguru Lagutva's word has, it comes in, I think, common attribute, and also this Aguru Lagutva, there is Aguru Lagutva Nam Karma also is there, you know. Not Nam Karma. Aguru Lagutva means when Gotra Karma disappears, then there is Aguru Lagutva. Aguru Lagutva means in the when Gotra Karma means when non-destructive karma, Nam, Gotra, Ayu, Vednya. Out of 4 karma, Gotra decides, am I coming from the higher family or am I coming from the lower family? So that is because of a Gotra karma. When the Gotra karma is gone in the Siddha Bhagwan, then there is Aguru Lagutva. Aguru means not to be heavy. Lagutva means not to be light. Whatever the soul is there, that's there. So Aguru Lagutva's word comes there also. Over here, common attributes, all 6 attributes, their common attributes means these 6 attributes that we talk common attribute in all 6 universal substances, they are there. So this is the Aguru Lagutva, means eternal persistence, permanence attribute. What does it say? Let's go next. We'll sing this stanza. यह गुण अगुरु लघु भी सदा रखता महत्ता है महा गुण द्रव्य को पर रूप यह होने न देता है आहा निज गुण पर्यय सर्व ही रहते सतत निज भाव में करता न हरता अन्य कोई यो लखो स्वभाव में. This Pandit ji has done a fantastic job. In these 4 lines alone, he describes Aguru Lagutva in an absolutely fantastic way. What it says? So every substance has a Aguru Lagutva attribute. गुण द्रव्य को पर रूप या होने न देता है. My substance, my attribute cannot become somebody else's substance and somebody else's attribute. Third line, निज गुण पर ये सर्व ही रहते सतत निज भाव में. My own attributes and my own modes always remains within me only. करता न हरता अन्य कोई और लखो स्वभाव में means I cannot become doer or modifier for any other substance. Likewise, any other substance of the universe cannot be the doer for me or modifier for me. And that's a Aguru Lagutva, means eternal persistence, permanence attributes that we are going to talk about. Due to the presence of this persistence, permanence attribute, substance maintains its own substancehood. I'm maintaining my own substancehood. What does it mean? It means one substance does not become for another one. One attribute does not become another one. attribute of a substance remains together in a given substance and do not scatter away. So these are the things been said from a substance perspective as well as attribute perspective, that they remain within one unit, they do not scatter away, they do not interfere in anybody else's. So that's what it means in eternal persistent permanence attribute. Now, what's the limitation of the soul substance due to its own eternal persistent permanence attribute in its self-quartered substance area modes and attribute? Now, over here, what it says, what is the limitation of me as a soul substance? Because of my Aguru Lagutva Gun, from the perspective of Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, and Bhav perspective. Again, Dravya means a substance, area means a Kshetra, Kal means modes, and attributes means Bhav. Dravya, Kshetra, Kal, Bhav. From what are my limitations? So over here it says, from substance perspective, what happens? Dravya perspective. Substance is infinite attributes of your own, maintains its own existence. Soul does not become other soul or rest of the five substances. Me as a substance remains as it is. It was there before, it's there forever in the past. It was there in the past forever. It will be there in the future forever. It does not change at all. Substance perspective, I remain as soul, as a soul, as soul. I do not become matter. I do not become dharmastika, adharmastika, akash or kal. So this is soul, substance perspective. From area perspective, means pradesh. First we saw is a dravya. Now kshetra apeksha means an area perspective. Me as a soul substance has innumerable space points of my own, and these do not become nature of matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time. My own space point makes the limitation of myself. My space point gives limitation. For example, my body right now. My body is my body. That's a space point of mind period. And somebody else may have the different space point. We don't have to worry about that part. Similarly, going to the soul has an innumerable space point. Asankhya Pradesi soul remains as it is from the area perspective, and it doesn't become the nature of Pudgal, Dharmastika, Adharmastika, Akash or Kal. From modal perspective, from Dravya, Kshetra, now Kal. Kal means mode, modal perspective. Me as a soul has an infinite modes of its own. Each attribute has its own mode and cannot become the mode of any other attribute of the soul. And now here what it says, now remember, now I'm within the soul right now. I'm within the soul. And how many attributes I have it? I have infinite attributes within me. They are indivisible form present in my soul, but still each attribute maintains its own individuality, and in that one the knowledge attribute has a knowledge mode, faith attribute has a faith mode, conduct attribute has a conduct mode, eternal existence attribute has an eternal existence mode. Like that, each and every attribute have their own mode only, and this mode of one attribute cannot become mode of the other attribute. Remember, how many attributes I have it? Infinite attribute. Each moment, each samay, each and every attribute keeps on modifying. So those modifying attributes, they come down in the form of mode. In one mode, all the infinite attributes are represented. So in one mode is an indivisible mode, But for whatever reason, if I want to dissect that mode, then each and every attribute has a one mode represented in that one unit of mode in one samay. Does it make sense? Okay. Now, specific mode of a given attribute comes at its own given time and cannot be brought into existence before or after its given time. There is a janmakshan, there is a birth time for each and every mode. As each and every mode coming from each and every attribute, they have their own specific birth time. That mode cannot be brought early, that mode cannot be brought late. It comes only at that given time. And this is the principle of a Krambhat Paryay. What is Krambhat Paryay? It says every mode comes of its own, in its own sequential order of every mode. Krambhat Paryay. Sequential presentation of every mode. And they come on their specific given time. You cannot bring that mode early, you cannot bring it late. So that is from the modal perspective. And from attributive perspective, what is that one? We just saw Dravya, we saw Kshetra, we saw Kal, now we saw the Bhav perspective. Bhav perspective means attributive perspective. Any question? No, okay. Me as a soul is an infinite attribute and they cannot be changed. My infinite attribute, me as a soul has infinite attribute. They are there, they are there, they are there, cannot be changed. They remain same forever. They never scatter away. So from eternal persistent, from the eternal persistent permanence attribute perspective, we saw all these four limitations. That what happens to me.
No, come here. Any room you can go.
Okay, now I'm going to see the benefit of eternal existence and eternal persistent permanence attribute. You know, this one, it's there are so many benefits are there. Number one substance has no relation with another, right? That we saw it. Okay, now. Every substance has different boundary, eternal existence, and powers. Now, my eternal existence is my own, my powers are my own, and my boundary is my own because of eternal persistence, permanence attribute that I have within me. One attribute of a substance has no relationship with the other attribute of the same substance. Remember we just said, I am the soul substance. I have infinite attributes within me, but one attribute has no relationship with another attribute. For example, knowledge mode has Samyak Jnan Paryay right now, for example. But so that knowledge mode is having a partial purity occurred. Knowledge mode is a partial purity occurred because of the Samyak Jnan. Now, faith mode, Shraddha Gun, faith attribute has only two work. Either it is a faith in the alien object, or faith to the pure nature of the substance. Only two things it can do. Either it can be in a mithyatva, it can be in a samyaktva. There's no difference. So, Shraddha Gun means a faith attribute can act only one or the other, while knowledge attribute works in a different pattern. It may be partial purity, purity increases, and ultimately it becomes Keval Jnan. So, each and every attribute keep on working with their own thing without any regard to other attribute present in the substance. So this is the independence from attributive perspective of a soul. Next one. Yes, question? No, okay. Attributes cannot scatter away from a substance because they have same eternal existence, boundary, and powers. So it is like having money in my own pocket. My money belongs to me. It doesn't make difference how much it is, but it's mine own. It may be $5, it could be $5 million, but they are my own. Same way here. My attributes, infinite attributes, are my own, and they cannot scatter away. So that's another benefit I can get in. Every substance has the same number of attributes naturally. If I'm the soul substance, I have infinite attribute. So is another soul substance an infinite attribute. So is Siddha Bhagwan has an infinite attributes. So is a soul of the Nigod having the same infinite attribute. Remember, attributes are always their pure form, but its mode coming out can be pure or impure. So number one, all the attributes in every substance, they are the same number in every soul. But now if you take number alone, X amount of attributes within me as a soul, then this matter particle, this phone, matter particle also has an infinite attributes of X amount, and say a same amount that is present within me, number-wise. Mode of one attribute has no relationship to the mode of the other attribute in the same substance. That makes sense also. Present mode of an attribute has no relationship to the past or future mode of the same attribute. Remember, present mode of my knowledge occurring right now. Present mode of my knowledge attribute occurring right now has no relationship with what it was prior mode, what it's going to be the future mode. So if I can say, oh my God, I'm a dumb person, I have no capacity to know everything, when will I get the Samyak Darshan, when will I get the liberation? I don't have to feel bad about it because my present mode has no relationship with the past mode or future mode. So as long as I know that part, that there's an independence of the mode is there because of my eternal persistent permanence attribute, then I work, I have faith within me, I do Purusharth, I do my own self-effort, and I look and I direct my attention to the true nature of the soul, and next mode coming out will be my pure mode, Samyak Darshan mode, and that's why. So I don't need to get discouraged about it. I can't say that because I don't know anything that what's going to happen to me. Remember, the lion, he did not know Samaisar and all these six common attributes and all the things, and benefits and disbenefit and all kind of thing. He just knew one thing. I'm the soul and I'm separate from the body. That alone gave the Ved Gnan, that alone gave discriminate sense within him, and then he obtained Samyak Darshan right there and there. So if lion can obtain Samyak Darshan, I can get it too. Gurudev used to say, जो पूंछ वाला ने सम्यक दर्शन था तो मूछ वाला ने केम ना था. Means the lion having the tail, पूंछ, he had Samyak Darshan. Me as a human being, I had the mooch, I had the mustache. How can I not get Samyak Darshan? So that's a thing that we're knowing.
Dango, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we want to have Dravya Drashti, and so to do that, we want to focus on Dravya. So Dravya, so there are infinite guns that we can choose to focus on. Which one should we choose?
Yes. Now, that's very, your thought process is going very, very nicely right now. That which gun should I be concentrating on? Remember, there are infinite attributes are there. then which one am I going to check it? Which one am I going to work with, and what's going to happen to me? Let's take the example. I give you two powders, two white powders, and I just said that these are two edible white powder, and tell me what is what. So you take pinch of both the white powder, you put one at a time on your taste bud, and then you say, yes, this is salt, yes, this is sugar. How? This salt and sugar also has infinite attribute. How did you find out that this is salt only and this is sugar only? Because you picked up one attribute of that, which was a taste attribute, sweet taste, sugar, salty taste, salt. So same way over here, I have infinite attribute, but let's make everybody secondary and work through my knowledge attribute. This knowledge has a two-pronged approach, swa par prakashakpano, self and alien knowing capacity. So my knowledge mode is doing two jobs. One is to project outside, one is to project inside. From time infinite, I'm projecting outside. I just will project myself into my eternal true nature of the soul. Once I do that, only that attribute, with that knowledge, I look into I decide that this is true nature of the soul. This is true, eternal, pure nature of the soul. Once I know that part, my faith gets directed towards me, and that ends up with the Samyak Darshan. So you don't have to worry about infinite attributes. Remember, all those infinite attributes are in unison. They're in unity. So when I just look at those attributes, I don't have to look for all those infinite attributes within me. What it is, all the infinite attributes in their united form are under the auspices of soul substance. So if I look at the infinite attributes, that is called Rag Dvesh also. But I look at the infinite attribute of this infinite attribute having present in the soul substance. So when I look at a soul substance, then all this infinite, undivided, indivisible attribute also come in the picture also same time, So soul, to look at the soul, not to the attribute. Because there is one Nai comes, when we talk to the Nai chakra, that we'll be talking, that if I look into the individual and also. So those are things that we keep in mind. When we go into this, once we finish this part, then we'll go to the night chapter, and it will be lots of fun there will be coming. I think this time is coming to an end, and there is some more part is coming on this one, which I think it won't be appropriate to start right now and not to continue that one. So we'll do it next time. Any questions so far?
Yes, Uncle, I missed a large part of today's lecture. How can I access it?
You know what? I will put it on, I'll send it out to you through the Dropbox.
Okay, so I'll send you my Dropbox ID.
Okay, yeah, just send me kirit.gosali@gmail.com, and then I'll send it out through Dropbox, because I think it's going to be 100 MB,
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
Hello, Kirit bhai. તમને સંભળાય છે?
I can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Kirit bhai, next week, being Paryushan, we will do the Swadhyay following week.
Yeah, because next week I'm going to be in Tampa, and I think the same time I'll have they will have a class in Tampa also. So next week I won't be able to, but week after I'll be back to Phoenix, and we'll do it. Okay, and we'll try to finish these things, and so we can just go to the new subject. Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
सोवाणी मस्तक नमो सदा देत हूँ ढूंढ. 9 बार नमो का मंत्र. Good morning. Midshine Dikram. Jai Jinendra, everybody.
Ichchami Dukram, Jai Jinendra.
We'll see you next week. Week after.
Vikas. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.